not just an alternative, the extreme alternative.
Pro Wrestling.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to the XVPW podcast. I don't really have a name for this yet, so I'm just going to call it the XVPW podcast. If you guys haven't checked out the last episode, I had Rob Romaine from New Era Wrestling. And guess who I have today? I've been wanting this guy on my show for a really long time. I finally got Kevin Impact from JTV Wrestling. What's good, Kevin? How's everything?
Oh yeah, freak out. The box office hit is in the house, and we're here. You got Kevin Impact, you got J Kid. You put them together, you get me. You got XVPW, you got Maxie. This is the combination of the century, folks, and you're not gonna find a guest like this here on this fine program. So you better subscribe to that channel right now. Can I curse on this channel?
Yeah, man, it's cool.
I was saying, smash the shit out of that subscribe button. Hit the notification. Don't forget about it, because with Kevin Impact here, you just never know what's going to happen. We're taking over the sport of professional wrestling. We're taking over CAW, and XVPW is where it's at, amigo, so you don't want to miss out. Now he's got Impact here. And we don't know what I'm going to say, and we don't know what's going to happen. This is kind of like when CM Punk went on the Colt Cabana show, huh, Maxie?
Oh, most definitely, man.
This is a big surprise. Nobody expected this to happen. All of you guys thought that there was going to be this big war, this big problem. Well, guess what? Look at what Impact and Maxie are doing.
It's so funny because it's like the Monday Night Wars. Like, you don't blink, you can't. Anything can happen in the Monday Night Wars, and bow, here we go. You know.
Damn right. Damn right.
So, I got Kevin Impact as my guest. So you know what? Stick around. I'm gonna play a little little commercial here and there, because we're about to get it in. So if you haven't yet, go like and subscribe to the XVPW network, and go like and subscribe to JTV Wrestling. And we'll be right back here with Kevin Impact.
This is Adam Cole, baby, NXT champion of the world, and you're watching Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. Boom.
Extreme. All right, man, let's get it started. So, Kevin, how did you get into wrestling? Like, what started? Like, when did you start watching wrestling? Like, you know, the little war stories here and there of, like, you know, this, like, you know, I could say that I started watching wrestling when I was 5 years old with my dad, you know, and I was like a big fan of wrestling ever since then. How did you get into it, man?
Well, shit, man, my wrestling origins, the patterns that led to eventually me becoming a wrestling fan, man, that spans way probably back into the 80s, with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, guys like that. Because my grandfather on my mother's side was a huge wrestling mark, and him and my mother would, it was just like a new religion that they would practice in the living room at the house. You know, they'd watch it, and wrestling back in the 80s was such a, it wasn't such a work, you know, to some people. There was a lot of people that watched it, and it was kind of like it was boxing. You'd see people sitting in the crowd that had suits on. So a lot of people took it very, very seriously. As a guy who has actually tested what it's like to be in a real professional wrestling ring, yes, Kevin Impact has been in a real wrestling ring. I've never had a professional match or matches, at least not yet, but I've done a little bit of training inside of the ring with several individuals. One of them who I think influenced or had worked with the Legion of Doom, and I got the opportunity to train with those guys. I got to train with a guy by the name of can't remember my trainer's name. I'm going to hell. It's Bronco. He's a luchador guy from the Bronx. You know, you and I, we're two New York guys. You know, you're right across the bridge from me.
Oh yeah,
I'm in
man.
Jersey. I'm out at the Bronx, so we're gonna hook it up sometime and go to some shows and get some food and hang out.
Facts.
The thing about it is that I've tested and I've tasted what it's like, and I can tell you for a fact that I thought wrestling was like to me wrestling has always been real and I respected it, but it's like I was like, okay, well, some of the stuff is predetermined. I'm telling you as a witness that everything in the ring is real.
Oh, most
100%.
definitely. Yeah.
Everything hurts. I didn't know that. I found that out on my own. Everything hurts when you're in the ring. All the bumps, all the running into the ropes,
Oh,
everything
the
just
rope
hurts.
burns, man. I can only imagine the rope and the canvas mat. It's like rug burn. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a reference, just so I'm not bullshit, you look up BWF.
Mm-hmm.
BWF is where I'm at. Well, where I was at, and I had stepped away from it for a little bit, you know, personal reasons. But back to your question, it started out in the 80s with my grandparents, and it was passed down through my mom to my brother, and through my brother Pete, with the combination of him and my mom, which my mother and my grandfather used to yell at the TV, beat his ass, um, during the Hogan era when it came down into the mid 80s. My brother, I had two brothers. One of them decided to have a different life, but one of them decided to be a long-term wrestling fan. So he knew about the Paul Orndorffs and the Hulk Hogan's and stuff like that, which I met Paul Orndorff by the way. He's a great guy. But um, yeah, it was just a passed down kind of thing, Maxie. It was like, Bret Hart toys and Iron Sheik and steel cages. Like that's my stories coming up. But the thing is, being a child in the 90s, I um, there was a lot of wrestling. You had ECW, WCW, you had WWF Raw, you had the Attitude Era going on. It was being accustomed to great professional wrestling and talent that's over guys like myself. I'm gonna put myself on the spot here, but I like characters. I like CAW wrestlers and professional wrestling that make you feel special. Like you're sitting here listening to me right now. It's like talking to Chris Jericho, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold. It feels realistic. This is the aura that guys should have. That it should be special. Some of these guys in CAW have this thing where it's like they use the voice thing or a filter or something to try to make them look intimidating. Kevin Impact is a God-given, God-born talent that is just here. That it's realistic, and it's like this is in CAW this is like a character come to life. Box office hit, Kevin Impact. So like to answer your question, pretty much it was just passed down. My brother was watching the shit, my mom was watching it, and it got passed down to me. And then my early memory of wrestling was channel searching. Back in the 90s, trying to be a smart kid, trying to learn, I got to messing around with a VCR. And these are great stories, by the way. But, uh, as a kid in the 90s, I think a lot of us were very curious about certain things and technology. And I got the opportunity to learn how to record, and when I learned on my own how to record, I just thought it was just like the most greatest thing that I ever learned in my life. I was like, my family looked at me like I was a whiz. You know what I mean? Like I was a tech whiz or something. It's like, man, like he knows how to record. Like this is just great, and it was just the best feeling to be able to record stuff. It was cool. So learning how to record, I got to learn, as a 8, 9, 10 year old, how to change the channels on the television. You don't want back in the day in the old 1990s cable with the little cable box. You didn't want to give that to your kids because you don't know what you're going to run into when you start changing channels, especially if you got all the channels. So I nothing. I just had the opportunity to learn how to figure how to change channels. Once I figured that out, I found WCW Nitro on TV, and I got an opportunity to watch that. I would catch it sometimes, and I would catch WCW Saturday Night Wrestling. And I didn't used to be able to watch too much of it because as a kid going to school, wrestling used to come on TV 8, 9, 10 territories. So I wasn't up that late. I had to go to bed. But when I could, I would watch it. So I would watch WCW Saturday night because I was free. So I'd be watching Cartoon Network and I'd be watching that. And once I truly had it all panned down the way I wanted, one day after looking around channel searching, you got Nickelodeon, you got all that. You got Keenan and Kel, good shows in the '90s. I got an opportunity to bump into WWF Monday Night Raw. And once I found WWF Monday Night Raw, I'm hooked on the shit. Like I saw Bret Hart and the Macho Man and everybody in WCW, but once I saw WWF Raw, it's just like, okay, I seen that somewhere. This is what I wanted to watch. I was looking for this. And one of the first Monday Night Raws I remember recording was it was actually a Saturday Night Raw, which ironically our version of Raw, JTV Mega Rush, takes place on Saturday. That's kind of symbolic of my childhood. But it was on a Saturday night. I was with my mom, and she rests in peace, and my little sister, and we was watching TV, and I put on WWF Raw. Got the opportunity to see Stone Cold Steve Austin tag team with Mankind against the Corporation, and it was just to say it was a sold out a crowd is me being overrated because it was more than a sold out crowd. Like you don't see Raw that packed anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially the posters. Remember those posters? Like so many posters.
You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So many posters. Yeah.
You don't see them anymore. And it was a different time, man. It's funny, if I have to inject this into what we're talking about, me and somebody else from JTV, it was two of them. It was Corey Flash and Craig Mack. You might know them. We got an opportunity. Now, I met Corey Flash. At this point, it was maybe the second time I was meeting him. I met him a year before that. And then, we went and chilled in Vegas after.
Yeah.
For the AEW pay-per-view, which was very, very fun. But we got an opportunity to get together. Myself, Corey Flash, Craig Mack met up with me at a local place where they found Kevin Impact drinking and eating, doing his thing. And we went in and headed off, and we was on our way to the Hall of Fame.
So not to cut you off, but so these are guys that you met through the internet, and out of nowhere, you all finally met up. Like, this is your first time seeing each other.
Well, the thing about JTV is that it's more than CAW. Throughout time, we built a bond.
Yeah.
When you're real close to people, it's JTV is not just like regular leads or nothing like that. There's just such diversity to the way we do it. So basically, like there's people in there that I've known for like 10 years, man. So,
through this, right? Or you met already. Oh, that's dope. So it's like It's like that meme that like these are like your gamer friends, and out of nowhere, like y'all decide to meet up in real life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's that bond. Yeah, exactly. That's totally dope, man.
I'm willing to meet with people who make me feel comfortable. Like I'll say I'm not willing to meet with every JTV person.
Yeah.
Because there's people close to me. There's people that are just on my roster that I barely know.
Facts. Yeah.
I'm willing to meet with people that are cool, people that are like smooth and everything. Man.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like if me and you was to meet up and hit it off, like I do that, just because you strike me as like a normal cat. Like me and you could definitely go to a show or grab a bite or get a group of people and just go somewhere party.
Hell yeah, man! Two bros, one pizza, bro. Oh man, dollar pizza. Let's get. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Oh, dollar pizza.
Yo, what you know about dollar?
Yo, Corey, for when you watch this podcast, dollar pizza, yo.
Facts. Man.
He knows this. He knows the story.
Dollar pizza.
So yeah, man, the New York dollar pizza, you already know what it is. But it's like basically, like that's just how I look at it. So we hit it off. We went to the Barclays Center, and we saw Bret get his ass jumped.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Bret the Hitman Hart, one of my heroes, got attacked by the white Jamaican Bob Marley.
Oh my God.
He attacked his ass, and it was just surreal. At the time, Corey was on his phone, and I told him to get off because Bret was giving a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And then he smiled at me. He's a sweetheart and everything, and I'm like, no, I'm serious. Get off the phone. You got to get off.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, well, J Kid means business. And that's a sign of respect. And,
most definitely.
That's how I be with it. That's how it should be with everybody, how I look at it. But my point of bringing that up is that when we were there, it was very empty.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very empty in the crowd. It was a great moment. It was kind of emotional for me because after the show was done, the DX music is playing. DX is out there, you know, shooting
Oh
their stuff
yeah,
into the crowd.
yeah.
No pun intended. And shooting their stuff into the crowd. They have water guns.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, and I was just in the crowd, man. Everybody's leaving, and I'm just in the crowd sitting with the DX music playing. Like, man, like that was my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very special to see Hulk Hogan there and John Cena, Randy Orton, to see Bret the Hitman Hart there. You know, I got to see almost everybody I wanted. You know, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin was the one that was missing, but I was marking out when I found out that Sting and Hall and Nash were in the crowd. I was like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah, it's basically people we grew up with. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are my guys right there. So, you know, if they was to be like on the show on a regular basis, I would watch it. If they get CM Punk back, I would watch it. You know, but with the stuff they got going on now, they can't really get me to watch their show. Like I watch AEW. That's what I watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I watch XVPW. I gave you some clout. So yeah. And by the way, folks, you know, along the way to answering his question, and Maxie doesn't want me to do this, but I'm going to do it. Maxie has some of the best quality and production that I've seen in CAW. Like, there's a lot of people in CAW who want to make a name for themselves, want to run their mouth, and have a testimonial about how they're the shit and all this other stuff. Man, I've seen a lot of places who people deem the shit, and all their stuff is 3 out of 10. Maxie is the real deal. Maxie puts in time to his edits, and his creativity is just, it's so expandable. I don't think it has been. So,
respect, man. I appreciate that.
I straight up, Kevin Impact is a fan of XVPW. I like the way he had his stuff. This man takes the extra mile to get guys like Ricochet, Tommy Dreamer, Tessa Blanchard, all these people on here to say what's up to you guys. So you guys show Maxie some love. Hit thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel because XVPW is the shit.
Yeah, but enough about me, yo. You're my guest, bro, and I had.
He won't let me talk about it. God damn,
man.
I'm a fan. But
it's not about me, man. But yeah.
But back to the question. Like, that's how it started for me, Max. Like, I just, you know, I saw WWF Raw, maybe like 98, 99, whatever that episode was. It's not hard to find. Just type in Stone Cold Mankind versus a Corporation. That was one of my early Raws that I recorded, not that I saw, because I saw Raw in 96 when Austin stunned Santa Claus. Or unless it was like 97, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. But my point is that that's how it began for me. And nothing, man. I just started watching the wrestling, and once, like I said, when I got a hold of WWF Raw, it became go-to.
Word.
So basically, it's like, okay, I figured out my routine. I'm like, okay, Monday night, I know Nitro comes on at 8 p.m. And I now know that Raw comes on at 9 p.m. So I'd watch Nitro at 8 p.m. and as soon as 9 hits, see you later, I'm going to WWF Raw. And I'd watch WWF Raw. And I did that every day. Not every day, every week.
Every week. Damn, so you must had a lot of cassette play, like VHSs to record.
You know I did. I did. I had a lot of wrestling cassettes in the house.
So you mean to tell me that you have the original, you're basically the original networker, man. You had like the original, like, you're basically the WWE network, but for like tape trades and shit.
I had a lot of tapes, man, you know, a lot of good tapes that I remember. I remember I had the Raw with Chyna and Triple H having arguments. So many great Raws that there was, you know. I think some of my last Raws before I stopped recording Raw, because it didn't matter anymore, was somewhere in 2011.
Oh, shit.
So it was around the time, it was around the time, like, CM Punk was there and shit. And,
so what did you record with in 2011? You still had a VHS, or you had like a DVD recorder, or?
No, man. I was actually still recording on VHS.
Lying, really? Damn.
Seriously,
that's some nice
VHS. Like,
wow.
I didn't know anything about. Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Yeah.
I was I didn't know anything about like the DVR thing or how it worked. Like I thought the DVR thing was that you had to get some kind of some kind of equipment that you had to buy or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, now I know about it. You know, I have the DVR set to record like AEW and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about it in 11.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
Like
so
you told me a little earlier. Like you're old school, I'm old school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a VHS thing. I don't do the VHS thing anymore, obviously.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But you know, when I want to look at old shit like old JTV tapes, I'll look at what I got on VHS because I got a lot of those also. And we'll get to that later on.
Oh, most definitely.
On that question, but that's how it happened for me, and just speed running through it. It was basically just, you know, to 2011, and then it stopped, and then I would occasionally watch WWE. You know, WWE obviously was still pretty good in 11 and 12. As it progressed, it kind of just died off, and I stopped watching it less and less and less, and now it's like to where I don't watch it at all.
Word.
You know, and it took a couple of years to get. It was kind of like Stone Cold. It took me a couple of years to get the business out of my system, but I did. Not the business, but the WWE.
Yeah.
And now it's just so bad to watch that show that I just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just watch AEW because I feel like AEW is like JTV. It's like a mega rush. You know, they have all the edgy stuff going on and good quality content, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
I don't like what they do on Raw. I just think it's just boring and lame and doing a lot of stupid shit that's pointless. You know? So
feel you.
Hopefully that answered the question.
Oh, it most definitely did, man. All right, so before we talk about your work in JTV, give me your top 5 favorite wrestlers. It can be from any time, you know.
Top 5.
Yeah, your top 5.
In any order, I'll say Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret the Hitman, Scott Hall. This is pretty hard. I want to make sure about this. I'm gonna say.
So you said
Sting.
So you said Austin, Bret, Scott Hall, and.
Yep. Macho Man and Sting.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Hulk Hogan, but I didn't have space, and he didn't deserve to make it on my list after what he said about the team.
Yeah, yeah, that's a dope list, man. So you got Bret, Scott Hall, what you call it?
Well, those
Macho
are a lot
Man.
of guys that influenced me.
Yeah, Macho
You know
Man.
what I mean, those are strong guys.
So repeat it again.
I said Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret the Hitman Hart, Scott Hall, the Macho Man, and Sting.
And Sting.
Top 5.
Oh, that's dope. Sting is this is I never hear people say Bret as much, but that's dope because they always speak about Shawn Michaels or Bret. I always hear the Shawn Michaels a lot, but that's dope. So this is the second time I heard Bret the Hitman Hart in a podcast. That's dope.
Right.
Nice.
For a lot of people, Max, as you must know, Max, like a lot of people in the modern era, they don't really know anything about quality.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest of all time. Same as Ric Flair. They can easily make my list, but those are a lot of go-tos for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I like to think outside the box.
True.
And if I have to give a quick example of that, outside the box, Kevin Impact, right? You, Maxie, 5150 fitted, Kevin Impact regular hat. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the difference with me and quality. Kevin, everybody else Call of Duty, Kevin Impact, Ghost Recon. You see what I mean?
Oh God, I love Ghost. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. Oh man, such a fucking amazing game, man. I can go about that too. I love the Division, but yeah.
Oh, I'm a Division guy. Division 1, Division 2. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a short little break, and we're going to get back with Kevin Impact and his story of JTV and how he got that started.
Hey everybody, this is the best tag team in the planet, the Lucha Brothers. Para mandar un saludo a mis amigos de Xtreme,
virtual pro wrestling. You know why?
Xtreme. And we are back with Kevin Impact from JTV. So Kevin, how did you basically get started in JTV, or how did you get started in like CAW?
Okay, so for me, when this whole thing kicked, it was mid '90s. Kind of a wrestling fan, and in that time, but being more of a fan of many popular things. So I'd watch Power Rangers, I'd watch the Batman animated series, I'd watch Spider-Man, I watch X-Men, I watch stuff like that. So I had the imagination, and everything that was around. I just had imagination. I'd watch Diego, for those that remember that. I'd watch 90s TV, The Nanny, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, many popular things that was on television, that I look at. One being Pokemon. I remember I was a huge Pokemon fan when I was a little kid.
Oh man, Pokemon was the shit, man.
And I didn't have anything. Yeah, definitely. I still remember when Pokemon came in, they introduced Digimon, and then they introduced Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually remember that happening in life. It was just crazy. But
Yeah.
I stood true to Pokemon. I couldn't get behind it. Although a lot of people like Yu-Gi-Oh! Better. But the thing about it is that there was a lot of shit that made my childhood just cool as fuck. So for me, it was just like, it went like that. And then I would do stuff like I would draw out cartoon characters or wrestlers, and I would cut them out in magazines, or, draw them in that color. I would cut them out and I would play with them because I didn't have any wrestling toys or nothing like that. I did, but at the time I didn't. It was later on in the year that I would get a Buff Bagwell, a Chris Benoit, a Dr. Death with no head. I had a Mr. Perfect, several that I had, but that came later on. At first, I worked with paper and magazines that I would cut. And that's my aunt gives me the system, whatever, and I started playing like some Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Road Rag. Then when my brother gave me WWF in Your House, it was my first game. That was a Christmas gift, and that's 1996 video game. So it kicks off like that, and you only had 10 wrestlers on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first wrestling game. I played it for a little bit, went back and forth with it, and then came the Charm. Then came WWF Warzone.
Oh
Yeah, Warzone came out. Now the camera's not, you know what I'm saying? But the camera's not to right. Camera's wherever it wants to go. Which it kind of was left right, but it navigates, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you have the opportunity to be able to have a platform, but you also have the opportunity to create a wrestler. Plus for a moment. So obviously Impact was born. And back in the day, for those that remember the history, that's seen Kevin Impact K7 Hits. Available right now on YouTube. You can see that I used to be Kevin Jr. That was my original name, and that of Ken Griffey Jr., the baseball player, because I was a huge baseball mark coming up, and that was my guy. So Ken Griffey Jr., Kevin Homey Jr., original Kevin Impact. It all built up to pretty much just me creating a wrestler, and then what this led to was basically in 2000 me meeting, moving. I met a neighbor of mine, and we just got along. We got along real well. He was my neighbor, and the family introduced each other, and started, he started coming over on weekends. So we started playing and everything. We played WCW games, ECW, WWF, something like that in the rooms. And, by this time, I got WWF back to SmackDown 1, SmackDown 2, and I had No Mercy, and I had so many. So I had a variety of games. And me and him hit it off. Like I said, we started doing this thing where, like I said, in 2003, it's when 2002, 2003, I started taping wrestling shows that we used to do on the weekend. Why not? And it was creative. That went on for a couple of years, and then in 2010, WB or THQ introduced the whole create what was it, a story designer, which I love. You know what I'm saying? Story designer was just great. You could put cutscenes into it and you could put matches into it. So it was a really swell universe mode. It was sophisticated. It's what I always wanted. So I got the opportunity to get the story designer. I got to bring JTV to a whole new platform now because I don't became story designer, but you also got what you will call it. You have communication. Now communications and story design. It's like, oh man, now I can do what people watch. This is not a VCR anymore. And that's how I got into CAW. I met somebody who came knocking at the door, so to speak, and hit me up and was like, hey man, what do you think about you getting in the ring? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm retired, I don't wrestle, I just do shows. And he's like, no, I know who you are, I've seen you or whatever, like, and he was like, he told me he wanted to join. And I'm like, that's the craziest thing anybody ever asked me because I never thought about the concept of people coming into JTV from online.
That's dope.
So it was innovative shit that was going on. And I'm like, yo, like, I never thought about that. I'm like, no, you can't join. Like, we don't do that. Like, at that point in time, my neighbor and about the characters I made. It's not supposed to be about anybody joining, but this fucker just won't give up. So kept knocking on the door and he said, I beat you, you give me the opportunity, whatever. And he beat me. And when he beat me up, like, I was pissed because I'm like, I lost to an online newbie. But he's not so much of an online newbie, right?
Yeah.
So he defeats me, and at that point in time, it's like the doors just open. And people just started, it almost became like an exile, like a refugee thing. Like people started just coming from left to right. I met Corey Flash. I met a couple of people. They know who they are. And people kept coming in, and I was just like, yeah, you could join and all this. And kind of like JBL had his cabinet, I had like my crew of people that, would help me produce the show kind of thing. And that went on for a little bit. PlayStation Home was around for those who remember it. PlayStation Home. And
oh yeah,
we had an office.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had the office on PlayStation Home with the fucking desk and the chairs and shit where we meet up at, and it was fun. We used to use our mics and set meetings up and stuff like that, and decide who's coming in, what are we gonna do. So there's many different things that went on, and basically all that happened is throughout the years I kept signing people and building JTV into something until in 2015, coming out of 2K14, they were getting ready to stop story designer, and they've been around for a couple of years. At this point, we don't have a YouTube deal, nothing's going on, and I'm thinking, okay, listen, this is it. I can't do nothing. I can't save JTV. This shit is gonna die. I can't do anything. So I'm just gonna save. I'm gonna wish everybody good luck wherever they go and try to get them, jobs and good companies or some shit like that. Kayfabe, get them jobs. CAW. But so basically, I was getting ready to quit. I was gonna do this right here. I was gonna do podcasts, and I was just gonna retire. And I was actually in the process of starting a family kind of thing, so that's where my head was at as far as what I was going to do. I was like, doing that type of shit. So I was just thinking in my head, I was like, okay, well, there's no winning. I can't save it. These people refuse to keep the server up, and they're not going to put designer on 15.
Yeah.
I checked PlayStation 3, I checked PlayStation 4. There's no story designer on WWE 2K15. I'm like, fuck 2K, they're garbage. This whole shit is trash. I'm out. And at the time, I was actually negotiating with a couple of people. Raging Redneck, everybody knows him, went and got me a position to work with CAW All Stars. So I was going to go to CAW All Star tournament, and I was also going to go to BCW with Craig Mack.
Oh, okay.
Me and Craig Mack are good friends, so I won't say how that turned out. But, I didn't wind up signing with BCW. That was on my part. I was going to go to CAW All Stars for the tournament, not to sign with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the best that they had for me was, I'm the box office hit. I'm Kevin Impact, Global Phenomenon. Who's my opponent? Oh, it's Chuck Norris. The actor? Yeah. That's the best that you got for Kevin Impact in this world famous tournament that everybody talks about, and you got me going against Chuck Norris. Is this a rib?
That's like
So
kind of disrespectful in a way, but
it really is, dude. I mean, all
yeah.
respects to Chuck Norris. I love Chuck Norris in the '90s growing up. He's a legend. In film, he's a legend.
Was he
He's
was
been on Nitro a couple of times, but
was Chuck Norris? All
I'm
right,
just like,
so
I'm not.
so was Chuck Norris like a champion at that whatever Fed that show is? Like I know Call All Stars is a collaboration of all call shows into one, but was he at least a champion at a show?
I couldn't tell you. I was stunned when I heard that Chuck Norris was even going against me.
Oh.
And I couldn't believe that because Call All Stars has such a great reputation for being such a highly, produced place, same as some of those other places.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't believe that. So I told the promoter, whatever his name was, I was like, this is garbage. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He got pissed, he's like, whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit, So I was like, okay, well, I don't really have anything else going on. I'm done. I'm screwed. So I sat there and I had a meeting and I talked to two of my guys. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. One of the guys was like, hey, well, why don't you get a game cap? I'm like, a game cap? What's that? He's like, well, a game cap is something you can use to record game footage and put it on YouTube. I was like, oh, shit. Because I was thinking, because I didn't have anything to record at YouTube. Originally, I was going to do it with my phone. And I'm like, dude, you cannot record JTV videos with your phone. The quality to this is fucking atrocious.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I tested it and I hated it. I'm like, yo, this is 3 out of 10. This is just not my standard. I'm like, you got to give me more, J Kid. You got to give me more.
Yeah.
So I just, I started throwing money out and I went and I got me a game cap and I was like, installed it, follow the menu, whatever, and I found out how to record fucking video games. I was like, holy shit, this is good.
Like a stream capture card.
Basically, that was the network deal, and now I can bring JTV to YouTube. And if you go all the way to the beginning, if possible, of our channel, you can see that video where I announced JTV's coming to YouTube, and I got the ominous voice and shit. And it was a great moment.
That's
and I
dope.
had a trailer for it, which was dope.
That's dope.
And yeah, so it was a great memory, and the channel was established like in 2014. It was November 5th, 2014. So it was a good moment, and after that deal is settled, now I can announce JTV's coming to YouTube. But at the time, I was thinking, you just saved JTV. Now JTV's in good hands on YouTube, but, my ex-wife had previously been doing logo for me. And before her, there was somebody else who was jealous of the fact that she was doing that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Both of them were gone. I had left my ex-wife because she was hot garbage, and the person who was doing the logo before her was hot garbage as well. And I said, you know what? You saved JTV. Why don't you learn how to Photoshop? Instead of having them do it. So I got me a new phone, and I started messing around, and I figured out how to Photoshop. I'm like, holy shit. I could Photoshop posters for the show. And I was like, why stop there? Let me make a website. So I fucking made a website, and it's 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, yo, and JTV, like, we just exploded. And I came to this point, and that's how I got into CAW and did everything I did. I never went to, like, JTV's known, right? And I'm known, but it's like, we are kind of probably known within CAW, and I'm probably kind of known within CAW guys. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as some people want to say, oh, JTV, I never heard of it. What's that? You're playing fucking stupid, because even if you don't know about JTV, you've heard about it somewhere. They've heard about it, because even the biggest names in all of CAW can still say, can still question us. It's like, okay, well, if you don't know what JTV is, they're talking about us right now. So we must be popular enough if you're talking about us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So basically, JTV never sold out to anybody. JTV never came up on anybody's success. We worked with other people in the past, just like we're going to do with XVPW, but we've never, like, we don't ride anybody's coattails. We're more than happy to help other companies grow and become bigger and stuff like that. And we're passionate about CAW in general, not just JTV in general. But we're not really into the whole begging other companies to help us grow kind of thing, because I don't think there's legitimacy to that. So we've pretty much built this brand for years and years, whether it was promoting it on PlayStation Home, having people come, or just trying to expand to new crowds, to new fans, making the product edgier, signing this person, building that person, whatever we did, we just kept tweaking it until it became the thing that it is now. Kind of like you do with XVPW when you have all the edgy stuff and everybody's on here talking trash and it's them showing themselves and the green screen thing. It's pretty dope. It's innovative. It deserves more credit than it gets. But that's kind of like how we was. XVPW has the whole underdog story to it, the background thing where it's like, you guys are like the slumpy, come up, indie thing, the whole storytelling tour. We had our own story, started out, and we worked our way into bigger crowds, into bigger venues, and it was just like, there's always grandeur and JTV always goes together because we always try to make everything just feel so special. But back to the basically, that's really how it worked out. That's how JTV really came into formation, and it just, it got to where it is today. And I feel blessed about it. And I'm glad that I get to talk to people like you and I get to help so many people. Part of the reason I still even do this stuff at my age is because there's just a lot of passion. And I see a lot of hungry people in CAW that deserve opportunity to be the best and to be at the top.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you again?
I'm 31 going on 32, brother.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm 35. So, well, I'm 34 going on 35. So like we have that mentality. I feel you. That's dope.
Well, we're in our prime right now.
Oh yeah.
If you're 35 and I'm 31, we're in our prime. You know what I'm saying? You got me by a few points. We're in our prime.
Most definitely in our prime.
But there's, I've talked to people that are older, man. I've talked to people that wrestle at 50, 55. And it's just like, that's crazy. And a lot of those guys, you try to work with them because at that age, it's like, it's not easy to cut the pace that we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the young bucks under us, and then you got us in our prime, and then you got the old folks. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys might look at us and say we're older, but it's like they don't get it. This is your prime. When you're old is when you're deep, knee deep in, I can't do it. I can't do that. I don't have the time for this. Like, we'll get there eventually, but we're in our prime. I'm definitely in my prime right now. I don't deem myself, look at myself like I'm old. I'm in my prime, and I stand by that. Just like you're in your prime. You know what I mean? Which shit, I didn't know you was up there. I figured you was older. You look younger. Actually,
I get that a lot, man. Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. Congratulations to you. You look much younger. You must take good care of yourself. You might put.
It's that herbal tea, bro. It's that herbal tea. I'm on my Patrick Stewart, man.
Abuse. Fountain of youth right here. So shit, I wish I had nice hair like you too. I got the bald head and shit. But yeah, it was just like. That's how it happened, and that's how we got to where we're at, and I take a lot of pride in that. CAW is a beautiful thing. There's a lot of talented people I see in CAW. I will never ever hate, even I got a lot of beef with a lot of people in CAW, but I would never hate on their talent because they're so talented and they're great talent. They're horrible fucking people, but they're great talent, and I will always respect anybody that's ever been in JTV that was a true talent. I will always respect their history and what they accomplished, even though I don't like them. It goes the same for anybody else from any other company that I might have heat or beef with. I will always respect them.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that, especially like in XVPW, like I always tell people, like the fact that we even mention other people's like companies is like the kayfabe of we're the company that talk shit, but we take it to an extent where we don't disrespect anybody. If anything, mentioning like companies like COH or Eldorado, it's more the fact of like we do it for fun, but not not to an extent where, hey, we're gonna disrespect you guys. No, it's more like respect. Like I'm a humble ass person. If everybody who knows me really well is like, we're humble. It's all clean fun. It's like saying like if the Bucks or if it's like if AEW does it, if ECW does it, especially during the Monday Night Wars, and you guys appreciate that. Why do you get on XVPW for doing the same exact thing? It's all love and wrestling. We do it for fun.
Right.
Exactly.
The thing about that is a very interesting topic that you brought up there. The thing about that is that first and foremost, competition in CAW is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's good because competition means that everybody works hard to be the best. So, when people are talking to me and saying, oh, JTV's competition or this or that, I always say, listen, I've been in competition with many different shows and companies for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new. It's always been this way. I've always had people hit me up talking about like, oh, I'm going to put JTV out of business, blah, 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 all this stuff. And yet they're in our communities and we're still here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's nothing new to me. It's like, I think competition is great. Direct competition is interesting, but competition is great.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I'm cool with all that. I'm not the Vince McMahon type. I'm not out to destroy every single company and be number one. I like that there's variety and stuff like that. I'm happy that certain people have their shows and they're doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem name dropping those companies that, I'm a fan of and I'm appreciative of.
Oh, yeah.
That ball with me and that I'm interested in them because like those are like part of my circle.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
There's companies that I have in my circle. I could drop yours as just I can drop WWA. That's Trey Jeter's. That's Worldwide All Stars. You got and SNW, Shock Nation Wrestling with Jeffrey Albert. And those are like two to me that are close to me as far as shows that I can affiliate myself with. I can do business with. What is it? GBW, GCW, whatever he calls it. Rick Blaze. That's an old school CC guy from the Community Creations days, and SVPW, Stupid Monk, whatever his shit is.
Wait, what? There's a company called Stupid Monkey? That's dope.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Like a lot of people knew the Monk from back in the day, and I gave him a lot of props and respect.
Mm-hmm.
When I started in CC, real quick, there were people that were there before me. It wasn't like I was the first guy that started this whole thing. Hell no. There was people that was doing it before me. I was there for SBR 2010. Yeah, I was at the beginning, but there were people that were doing it at a higher level before me. And there were people that were doing it before them at a higher level on YouTube back in 05, back in 06. So we have to, as promoters, we have to respect these brands that came before us because those are the originals, at the beginning. CAW is CAW life. The life meter of CAW runs and functions on nudes. As much as we hate them, we hate nudes. But CAW was built on nudes, if you think about it, because back in Here Comes the Pain and all those other games, the old YouTube days, you had people that were copying Jeff Hardy. You had people that were copying like Undertaker or somebody else. They'd have their entrance music or their entrance video, or they'll copy their attires. So CAW is really built on nudes, and that's a shocking reality, but it's true. But I feel like the game has evolved so much.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
As talking for JTV, in JTV, I have an issue with people when they tend to copy something. I don't want anybody to use anybody's finisher, anybody's entrance video, anybody's entrance song. I want people to have their own stuff, their own look, to be unique in their own way.
Yeah.
Take Kevin Impact. Take Kevin Impact, for example. I told you earlier that who my top 5 guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have been influenced by many guys when I was making Kevin Impact and crafting him to how he is today. It took me a while, but I was able to get to where I. Now, I've taken medicine from Jake the Snake Roberts, Terry Funk, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sandman Sting, Macho Man Hulk Hogan, a little Undertaker, a little DDP. Like, I took a little bit from everybody to make Kevin Impact. That's why my mannerisms, my the aura that I have, the vibe that I'm giving you, you can probably see a little bit of Jake Roberts, a little Stone Cold, a little Rock, a little you get a vibe from everybody because I mixed it all into, it's like a soup, and I put all these ingredients into it, and I got this. Instead of me coming on here and talk to you, Max, and I'm like, well, let me tell you something, Maxie, because Kevin Impact came in here, oh, what up, I can't whoop. I'm not in here talking about, well, let me tell you something, Maxie, because Kevin Impact is going to lay us the smack. See, I don't do that kind of shit. And there's a lot of shit going, and that's a lot of that shit. I'm going to put people on the spot, man. There's a lot of that shit going on in CAW, and you fucking know it.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
Have their fun.
Yeah. There's so many Omegas now. So many Kenny Omegas in these freaking games, like with the fucking Gunton and the way they talk and their moveset. It's so, there's so many of that now, especially Bullet Club factions. I'm like, stop. Like, be your own thing.
Yeah. Chill. He says stop.
Yeah, man, like, stop.
I agree.
We tried to reach like I remember one guy tried to be part of XVPW, right? Like, funny ass story. I'm sorry to cut you off too, by the way.
Right.
But I had to get this out there.
You got it.
There was a guy who like really tried to be part of our roster. I'm like, all right, I'll give you a chance, and cut me a promo. My man did the whole entire Aleister Black thing, the whole knock on my door, and I'm just like, all right, cut me a pro, like, something that's not Aleister Black. And like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, do your own thing. And he couldn't come up with something. I'm like, I'm sorry, man, like, you can't be part of the roster until you find your niche, But my man was like literally copying, like, word for word, somebody knock on my door. I'm like, stop, bro. And I guess what his moveset was? Of course, Aleister Black. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You can't do it. It's like people have a hard time finding originality, and I'm like, it can't be that hard.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it is hard actually. It is difficult to. It's not that difficult, I don't think, but it can be difficult to come up with your own shit. But man, like the whole searching thing and to be able to come up with your own stuff, that's what makes you unique.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in CAW, guys, like this is a message Kevin Impact has for you. Really try to find yourself. Don't try to rub off of somebody else's shit. My finishing maneuver is an STO takedown, and it is called the Black Death, the Plague of Impact.
That's a dope ass move.
Deep.
Hell yeah.
That is deep because that goes back to the 1900s. So I think it was 1940s, 1935, 1940, where the Black Death swept through Europe and it killed millions, folks. Now that is deep depth to a finishing maneuver. And that's what I put into my character because I was fascinated by destruction and the end of the world and apocalypse. And that's what you get when you see Kevin Impact, you know what I mean?
Woo.
And Impact. Think
That's
about
sick.
it. Impact is immortal because Impact is forever. What happened before us, there was Impact. There's Impact now. And after us, there will be Impact. Think about it.
That's sick.
After mankind, there will be Impact. It is immortal. I am immortal. I'm just like Hulk Hogan, for better. Shots fired. But,
my finisher,
yeah,
I have two.
It's like,
yeah. Since we're talking about finisher, I want to talk about my finisher because you got me motivated.
Please do. Please do. I do that to a lot of people, Max. I motivate a lot of
Yeah.
people. Go ahead.
So I have two finishers, but so what? There's a limit breaker. It's a knee. It's a running knee. But my other one that I brought back was it's a stunner, but since the evolution of the game, now there's different variations of stunners. So there's the Eclipse, then there's the Stun Dog Millionaire, which I fucking love. Then of course, if they ever did the come up,
Right.
then I'll claim that too. And the reason why I have those is because you're hitting them out of nowhere in different variations. So, and the regular stunner. And I call that the change of heart. And I was like, and guess why I call it change of heart? Because the Yu-Gi-Oh card change of heart is like probably one of the most favorite arts in all of like art / also the game Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'm like, yeah, change of heart. Because there's like the devil and the angel, and they're all under one figure. I'm like, yo, that's so fucking dope. So yeah,
Right.
and so it's something that's like meaningful, and I'm like, yeah, and that's the way the character that I do in XVPW.
Shit, man. Well, more power to you on that. But I like it. I like creativity in CAW. I think we need to stop relying on the super kicks and the spears and stuff like that, and be open minded to going with other stuff. I can't hold a cutter against somebody unless it's the Stone Cold Stunner. If it's the Stone Cold Stunner, I feel like you're ripping somebody off. But a cutter's a cutter.
Yep.
You can't pick on somebody for using a cutter because you didn't have DDP do it, you didn't have Orton do it, and then you had Carl Anderson do it. I don't really know a lot of the new guys and what they do. I'm still learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some of the stuff Aleister Black does, and I've seen like the ricochet fake ass people's elbow and all that, and I've seen like Pete Dunne's move. I know that. I've seen a couple of them. I've seen a couple of new moves that a couple of people use, and I'm trying to keep myself educated to keep up with the times, and just stuff like that. But shit, man, Alzheimer's. We was talking about pretty much just CAW in general and just the whole noob thing. But like I said, it was built on news, but you have to take the responsibility to kind of just make yourself different than what everybody else is accustomed to. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to be different, because when you're unique, it makes you the shit. That's what y'all need to understand.
Yeah, man.
Before we got a hold of I'm gonna use Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, when I was coming up, would do certain things that this is why he's the man. Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay. A lot of the time, you're not going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin getting powerbomb or in that position, not just because his neck, but it's just not a move that you don't put Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, you don't put his nuts in between your face.
Exactly.
Character wise, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, when I was coming up, you wouldn't see him wearing sneakers on TV a lot of the time.
Nope.
He would wear boots. Think about it for a moment, guys. He wears them now, but back in the day, you wouldn't see that a lot of the time. Stone Cold Steve Austin had a certain way he worked, certain things he wouldn't do. The way also Goldberg did. Remember when Goldberg would hit the jackhammer, he would do like that split leg pinfall? That's unique. That's very unique.
Yeah.
So
protecting your image.
Don't be afraid to be different.
Yeah, man, it's all about protecting your image.
Don't be exactly. Don't be afraid to be different and be unique in CAW, because it's just going to make you the shit. I try to be as unique as I can, and that's why I'm out here talking to Maxie right now. But a lot of the times when I go on my channel, I go somewhere to talk to somebody, they just get blown away. Like, man, like, this guy is just, he's got to figure it out. He's something else, because
it's the knowledge.
I bring that to the table because exactly, not just the knowledge, but the originality. When you bring that to the table, people want to talk to you. People want to hear what you got to say. So you gotta do that, And I'm challenging every single person that comes on this podcast, this show from now on this channel, to top that. That's my catchphrase. Top that when it comes to being on here, being the best guest that you can, being the best talent that you can. I'm encouraging everybody to top that and to be bigger than life and to be bigger than anything, and apply that attitude to your life. not just CAW, to your life, I guarantee you're going to start seeing some good results. You want to talk about DDP yoga? This is Kevin Impact yoga for you. Stop that.
I respect that. And we'll be right back with Kevin Impact.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's LAX EYFBO. You know this by so many damn names. But right now, you're watching Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling.
Extreme. So we are back with Kevin Impact, the creator, founder of JTV Wrestling. We were talking about, being original, etc., and protecting your image and stuff. So let's dig in, especially now since the CAW community is, growing rapidly, especially with, the share button and create arena and etc. So what are stuff that really grinds your gears, or what stuff that you love, about the community?
Well, you see, guys, Maxie's done his homework. He must have spent the day listening and watching Kevin Impact podcasts and all this stuff. He knows I speak my mind, and he knows I shoot from the hip, and I don't care who I hit along the way. And that's why he's doing it. He knows he's gonna get big ratings by getting me to speak my mind on here. There we go. Okay. All right. As you said, the pros and cons of CAW. What really grinds my gears? What do I think are the positives of CAW? What I think are the negatives? Like you said, I agree with you. I think the share button obviously lit a fire up under a lot of people's asses to want to be a producer. But not everybody can be a producer. Some of you motherfuckers have got to stop doing shows, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You got these 3 out of 10 arenas. You got these lame ass characters that all, Jesus Christ. Stop making, guys, stop, I'm on my skin punk rant now. Stop making characters that look the fucking same. Take the time to make the characters look different. Jesus, what did these people do? They all fucked each other's family members and shit? They're from the same family? Goddamn, what the fuck? They all look the same. It's like, if the share button is motivating you enough and motivates your ass enough to get people that look different, you can't call yourself a CAW show if all you guys look the same. Make you guys look unique.
But what grinds my gears about that, since we're just talking about looks at the moment, is
right.
Everybody has that hairstyle where it's parted all the way to the left with the shaved side. Why does every CAW wrestler have that freaking look? It's that and the fucking gun taunt, the shoot taunt. Everybody freaking has that, and I'm like, stop, man.
Don't forget about the Finn Balor entrance.
Oh God, man. I'm tired of crotch shots. All freaking. Oh my God. It's like an NJPW reject. Everybody wants to be like Finn Balor.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's terrible. And with that also everybody has a demon side. I hate it.
Oh God,
everybody has a normal side or an alter ego. What the fuck? What the fuck?
If you're gonna do that, make it have fucking sense. See, and I'm guilty. I have a demon side, but I tell the story of how I got into that demon side. You never see the creator of The Undertaker. You never learn his origin. They didn't show that. Or Finn Balor's demon side. You never saw how that originated. He tells a story about Balor, which is one of the demons back in Ireland. But if I was an XVPW, I'm going to do something that's never been done before, and that's showing how I got into that demon side. And for those hardcore XVPW heads who've seen that, spoiler, the reason why I got into the demon side is because I've been on a really long fucking losing streak. Yes, I'm the creator of XVPW, and I got into a losing streak just so I can put people over. Because some people don't want to win, but you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can and say, hey, I'm going to put you over. I'm going to lose. But through that losing side, I woke up, my guilty conscience was like, yo, you're fucking whack. Yeah, you suck. Like, let me take over your body, and I'm gonna just wreck shit. And I'm like, no, I got this. I'm gonna do whatever I can. So I'm showing the story of, I'm trying to be a good face. So I'm gonna do whatever I can. I'm gonna win through my own, you know. But the bad side of me, my guilt, like my conscience, was like, nah, let me take over, because you're fucking whack. You can't do this by yourself. You're horrible. You've been on losing. I'm gonna take over. And where did I get that idea from? By watching anime. Fucking Bakura, Yami Bakura, and freaking Yami Yugi and Yugi, or anime, Naruto and the freaking Nine-Tailed Fox. That side, you never see that side, and that's where I created that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You're drawing inspiration from somewhere. It's good to watch movies and get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And to me, it sounded more like you was just really reinventing yourself. That's not really you having two sides like everybody else. You was reinventing yourself.
Exactly.
To people over.
Yeah.
If you're a promoter of a company, folks, you got to. You know who you are. That type of shit is out there going on. Some of you guys run a show. You're always putting yourself on top. And I've been accused of this many, many times. I am one-time world champion. I busted my ass for 3 years to get a shot at the JTV World Championship, and I've been around for 20 years. Guys, I've done everything in my power to make name after name after name after name to get to where we're at. JTV is CAW Production Factory. We literally just make name after name after name. I'm not Vince McMahon. I'm not afraid to try somebody new and make them a star. I'm not interested in making myself the star all the time. I'm not interested in keeping the same people on top. I like to switch it up. Stop making it about yourself. Take time to make it about the other stars.
Oh my God! Right? You ever try to sign a person and then next thing you know, when am I gonna get a title shot? Like, excuse you?
Yeah, it's terrible, man. I cannot stand that NXT thing with Vince.
Like, who are you?
I hate it.
I just signed you. You want a title shot already? Oh my God.
I hate that shit, dude. And we was talking about this whole pros and cons thing. For some of these promoters, if you're gonna have a wrestler show, man, you got to put together a good arena. Stop using WWE arenas. We're using WWE arenas, not WWE arenas. Well, yeah and no. We're using these arenas that are in the game now, and one WWE arena that I know of with something coming up, because we can't use custom arenas on Lana's go. And we're going to get on 2K's ass in a moment. Oh, yeah, we didn't forget about you, 2K. We're going to get on your ass in a moment. But before we do, it's like basically, take the time to make a good arena. Don't make a lame ass. Stop using Monday Night Raw.
Oh, God, yeah.
Stop using Raw for your shows, and then you're calling it WTPAW or some shit. Man, make your own shit. Please make your own shit.
I don't care. I'm gonna call people out on this. I'm gonna call people out on this.
Do it.
One thing that irked me, and yeah, I'm gonna mention El Dorado Championship Wrestling. So I remember like I know
them. I know them.
Yeah, it's like, all right. So it kind of confuses me.
Don't do it, Maxie.
Oh, I remember.
Don't do it.
I remember like.
Can't do it.
I remember he showed me his show, right? So I'm like, all right, this is really cool, like, because for those who don't know, like, I did not know there was a big community about this. I'll admit, I did not know about JTV. I learned about JTV through Trey Jeter, and he's like, and I believe Corey Flash was there too, because I remember I friended these guys. So I was friending people who had CAW as their default picture. So they showed me JTV, and I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, a guy who actually took the time to fucking produce a really good show. And I was very interested. I was hooked. So that's how I learned about JTV. But I remember a person, Ryan Paul, and he opened the gates to me, and he got me into a group. And these are a Facebook group with a lot of people who does CAW, these shows. So he showed me his show, and I was hella confused.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, your show, your company is called El Dorado Championship Wrestling, ECW. Very cool. How original. Amazing. Then he has multiple shows. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I'm like, wait, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So I'm like, all right, is either. So I thought he had like he's doing fan made stuff for people. You make your own, you book your own Raw. I was expecting Seth Rollins and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, wait, he has different people. So all right. So I had to get my mindset of, all right, I'm not expecting Seth Rollins, AOP, Big Show, whatever, but these are guys. All right. Then I found out that he has an NXT. I was like, all right, I'm going to check out his NXT. So I'm like, wait, you have the same roster in Raw, but you also bring people from that Raw roster to your NXT roster. And I'm like, wait, so I was just so confused, man. I was like, you couldn't come up with your own name?
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Goddamn, make your own shit.
Yeah, it's like
Raw.
Raw.
Your own show if you're going to copy off of somebody else.
He could have called it El Dorado Championship Wrestling. That's all. That could have been it. He could just called it El Dorado Championship Wrestling, and I've been totally cool with that. But now you just kind of call it
because
Raw.
They were calling themselves ECW on Facebook years back when I first was following them, and I hated that because it's like, bro, like why? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause that's all. Cause no lie, that's all you're gonna freaking think about. Is like that's all you're gonna think about. Is like Raw. Like now, like no, I'm still gonna think of WWE, or
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
what's the first thing you think of when you think of Raw? WWE. You don't think of El Dorado Championship Wrestling. You think of WWE. Oh, SmackDown Live. Shit, I'm still thinking of WWE. I don't think of El Dorado Championship Wrestling. This is.
I want to also take a shot at this. I want to throw this out there for the record, guys. There's a such thing as, and I'm sorry for saying this, Max.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
For some of you cats out there, I'm a look out. I'm a look out for my homeboy Max. Max puts out good content. He does good shit. Max is different. Max, to me, XVPW is kind of like Netflix. Netflix shows. They have seasons, they have episodes, they come out, period. I'm talking about everybody else, not XVPW. Let's point that out. Mm-hmm. Some of you cats are out there running around in CAW acting like you're a big shot, but you're on somebody else's show and you don't even wrestle your own match. Like, okay, there's a difference. You're not a CAW. You have CAW pro wrestlers and you have CAW pro actors. Some of you motherfuckers is out here as actors. Somebody else plays your match and you play the part. I don't play the part. I wrestle the part. I am the part. All right? And that's what everybody else does in JTV. And that's what a lot of people do. That's a real CAW pro wrestler. So don't run around here claiming to be a CAW star or a wrestler or a call or whatever the hell you want to call yourself if you don't wrestle the part. Don't have somebody else wrestle your part. What's the fun in that? Mm-hmm. And furthermore, in the continuation of this assault, and I'm going to blame Maxie for putting me in this position to be going off, because he went off and now I'm going off, and me and him are kind of like Pac and Snoop right now, going off of each other.
I'm more Diddy and you're Biggie. I'd be like, yeah, bad boy, take that.
Okay, it is what it is. I'm just saying that, like me, all I need is one finisher. I'm old school. Where I come from, you need, it's okay to have two finishers. That's unique. But not every person has to have two finishers, guys. Oh. Don't be uncomfortable having just one finishing move you rely on.
You know what irks me too, by the way, since we're talking about moves? It's like, I remember I said this in the last podcast, in the last episode, but I'm going to say it again. It's like, all right, so you have this 2-hour show, right? So you mean to tell me that your boy just did the GTS, right? Then in the next match, I'm gonna see another GTS, but this time, this one's a finisher. Then the following match, you're gonna do another Like, you see me and tell me that 5 people in your roster does the fucking GTS. That part irks me, man. It's like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, like check your roster, dog.
Yeah.
Everybody shouldn't be doing the same finishing move. Check your fucking roster.
For
I agree with
real.
that.
That's whack. That's fucking whack. Oh my god.
I agree with that. And when we're talking about shows, some of you motherfuckers is out here trying to get away with murder, getting a good reputation for putting out a lame ass show that is poorly edited.
It's just a share button, man. It's just a share button. They just do.
Hey, exactly, just a share button. Look, man, we put the time into editing these shows and cutting out all the winner and loser and quit the match. You know what I'm saying? And some of these guys just leave that shit in there, bro. The match should be over. This person won, and you still see the menu that says exit, continue, rematch. Come on now. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about. Yeah.
Come on now. I'm going to call everybody out, baby. You know who you are. I'm going to call everybody out. It is what it is.
Oh,
now,
my God.
Now on to... Shit, I was writing a couple of things down while you was talking, man, because you were getting me hyped up. I'm going to name drop somebody else, but before I do, I want to get on 2K's ass. 2K, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on with the game, bro? We still don't have custom arenas online. We are still dealing with glitchy, broken fucking game. Why would you put this game on shelf and take our money?
Yo.
You know it's money, 2K.
You know what?
I'm challenging 2K right now. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what bothers me is they take so much time on the NBA 2K game that they don't not give enough time to do the fucking WWE 2K game, and I'm just like, it sucks, man.
Well,
it sucks.
If that's the case, get the NBA done and then work on the 2K, bro.
For real, like,
if that's the case, don't release it.
Don't release it. Exactly.
It pisses me off, man, and I'm gonna keep going off here because, like, the game is out. We paid full price for it, and we haven't gotten a full game. If you're gonna do what you're doing, in my opinion, 2K should be giving us, if not bi-weekly updates, they should be giving us monthly updates of, hey, we're working on the game, we're close to getting it to this stage, this is the goal. They're not doing that. They're easily taking everybody's DLC money, they're taking everybody's money, they're promoting the game, and they're not even talking to the fans. Bro, you owe us. You owe us. So I'm challenging right here on this channel, on the XVPW channel live, to step their game up and to top that and to get the game done. Because we're going to be getting a petition going on soon with all of us signing. We're going to continue to try to blow this shit up. And when we got to get CAW involved to come after your ass, we will. We'll try to get as many votes as we can because you guys need to get on your shit. This game is out. It needs to get fixed. We got to create a championship. That's great. But there's so much about the game that still needs to get fixed. It's ridiculous that we can't even shade out a tattoo. We can't even shade out a tattoo because every time you save it, it goes back to normal, Maxie. What is that?
Yo, I had simple ass shit. Garbage. I had to so we had this character named Showtime, right? So my man got a good beard. You know, he looks, my boy, like, has a beard. On the call, I'm giving him a beard. The beard is black. All right. So my boy's bald. All right, cool. So on the creator side, you'll see the black beard. But when you put him in match, guess what the color of his beard is? Fucking brown, not black. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back to creator again, right? I'm like, why is this happening? So I'm trying to figure out why is this happening. So I'll give my boy hair, but he's bald. So what hair do I give him? I give him whatever does not have less hair. And guess what? It freaking worked. But guess what now? It does not look like the live character. The live character has no hair. So I'm just like, how do I do this, man? Like, what do I do? Just so I can not have, like, he just needs to have a fucking black beard, but I have to add hair on top of his head just so his beard is black. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's whack. The simple shit like that bothers me, man. Simple shit like that bothers me.
That's crazy.
Oh, let me get on freaking people who do freaking promos. Why does each promo that I'm watching these shows that, yes, or watch other shows, because why? I do my fucking homework just so I can stand out. So, like, people have these 5-minute long promos and they're shot in freaking portrait mode. Like, really? Do I need to see you talk for fucking 10 minutes and you're not going straight. Like, get straight to your point in your freaking promos. Like, what? Like, you would think that people who watch a lot of wrestling that want to be like a freaking wrestler, like, do freaking homework. Like, no, like, get on your.
Yeah.
That part bothers me too.
Got to make it interesting when you have a show. You got to know when to change. You know, after about 5, 6, 7 minutes, nobody cares. So
Yeah.
you got to keep them invested to what you're doing.
Learn about freaking YouTube, man. You think your attention span is gonna last like 5 minutes when a person's speaking? No. Make your show like amazing.
Right.
Like you people understand that people's not gonna watch a freaking.
I mean, it can last with you right person.
If
you
it's
say
good,
the right
yeah.
things, if you know how to work the crowd, if you like the way we're talking right now, we have everybody's attention. I'm sure. Watching this, I'm sure. But the thing is, if it's boring, like if you brought me on here, you're like, oh, so Kevin, so tell us. I'm like, oh well, you know, I just had a match. You know, like, bro, that's fucking boring. What's wrong with you? Where's the passion? Where's the character? You know, where's the life? You know, that's what people want.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of the bubbly, baby. That's what people want.
Yeah.
Understand?
Most
That's
definitely.
the fun.
We can go on and on,
So-
man, but yeah. But I don't want to make this
Sure
too
can.
long.
And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
he only had 3 questions for me, guys, and we put out what do we got? Over an hour of footage already? Over an hour of content?
Yeah, in over an hour.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
So in closing, and you got all your questions answered.
Mm-hmm.
So in closing, there's a guy who wanted me to mention, and his name is Shendon. He's a television champion, C division champion. You know, that he'll whoop your ass and he'll whoop everybody's ass in XVPW. And if you want this thing, if you want the heat, you can get the anytime you want. So he want to let you know that. And his name is Shendon, and he put me up to this, so it's not my fault. He put me up to this. So,
Well, I got a boy
it is what
named.
it is.
I got a guy named the Wolf King, and if you scroll down the timeline, he's doing an open challenge for the XVPW Network Championship, and the perk of that championship is basically he needs to defend it in every show. So he's doing an open challenge, and one of them he called out JTV. So if you have any JTV CAW guys that would love for a shot for an XVPW Network Championship, booyah! There you go.
Well, the motherfucker must not be that important if I didn't hear about him. But I was told about that. I was told about him. I heard about it. I was told actually before this podcast started. Shit, man. After this thing is done, if you want me so I could check it out. But
So I got a question. Wait. I got a
Definitely.
question. When can we see Kevin Impact in XVPW?
oh shit, man, you're seeing him right now. Here I am via satellite. You can hear my voice. Kevin Impact is on this channel. He's on the network. Maybe sometime down the road, man, we keep on doing some stuff. You're going to see Maxie coming over to JTV to do some stuff, promote his show. And you're probably going to see me pop up on XVPW, and you never know who I'm going to bring with me. So, ooh, yeah, the bed is
Dope. If you have
just
any,
be on the lookout, because
Yeah.
anything can happen in CAW, is because as long as Kevin Impact, J Kid, and XVPW Maximilian with JTV's around, we're going to give you people exactly what you want. So here it is, man. We're taking over professional wrestling in CAW, just like I said, and bada bing, bada boom. Top that, amigo.
Dope. But yeah, man, you got any plugins you want to put before I shut this down for tonight?
Well, shit, man, we getting ready to get up out of here. Definitely check out JTV Wrestling, man. You know, look us up on YouTube, my Facebook, Kevin J Kid Impact or Kevin Impact, whatever I change it to. Just look me up, hit me up if you got any questions, want to know about the content, check out the channel. Subscribe to this shit. You already know. We're running the game, man. We're having fun. We're doing our thing. I appreciate coming on here, giving me the time, having me as a guest. and we'll do stuff with Maxie real soon. So like we said, be on the lookout.
Oh, most definitely,
thank
man.
y'all for listening in.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, folks. And this is the Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we are out. Deuces.
This is the knockout artist, Cassius Ono, and you're watching Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling.
Xtreme.